This is Ken Pyle with VOD TV. We're at Parks Associates Connections Conference at CTIA. We're with Erik Vlugt of Verifone. Erik, you were just on a panel talking about mobile payments. What was the takeaway for you from that panel?
Yeah, it was an interesting panel. It talked about a lot of different things. It's apparent that particularly at this conference had a lot of other interest. I do a lot of panels that are specifically targeted at payments. There were a lot of folks in the room that weren't necessarily out of don't live in a payments ecosystem. So there was definitely some questions that were basic education, and it was a good session. There was some good questions, and we took it into some areas that maybe normally you wouldn't take it as part of a payments panel, so it was good. It's enjoyable.
Well, and it's important to note that Verifone has, how many, 18,000 terminals? There's a huge number of terminals that allow merchants to take credit cards, right?
Yeah, it's well into the millions. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So depending on the market segment we're talking about, we have probably in the U.S. about 60 or 70% market share. It's a little bit higher in mass retail and a little bit lower in other areas. But yeah, there are many millions of pieces of Verifone equipment out there today.
Well, and of course, those are fixed pieces generally, right? But what happens as this mobile revolution comes? Is that good or bad for Verifone? How does Verifone kind of fit into the idea of a smartphone taking payments?
Sure. Yeah, it's great, right? Because innovation is bringing a lot of new things to this industry. Yes, today the majority of those millions of devices are fixed mount. They sit on a counter, that kind of thing. But many of them now, and we've been shipping them for years, are mobile devices as well, mobile acceptance equipment, and it's great for Verifone because it adds yet another dimension to the payment acceptance side of things, and certainly is an exciting space to be working on, and it's only growing at this point. So now, where before we would have, 10, 15 years ago would have been all fixed mount, then we sort of got into the wireless terminal space, and now we're getting into enabling consumer electronic equipment for merchants to start accepting mobile payments like iPhones and Android devices, Windows mobile devices, etc. So it's wonderful for Verifone.
And so from a customer acceptance, I guess there's two aspects. There's the one actually taking the payment, but then you've got, the idea of making payments with your phone. Yep. Where do you see us in, kind of the development and the adoption of that methodology where people forget their wallet at home and use their phone?
Yep. So we're definitely early stages in that as far as consumer adoption of the technologies is concerned, making great headway. I think you're talking about mobile wallets effectively, putting a wallet on the phone, whether it's through NFC or barcode or some other mechanism. Given our market share, the 60-70% market share, we're obviously a big player in that because all the infrastructure needs to be enabled for that. It's early days. We've enabled many systems over the last couple of years with that technology, and we're starting to see rollouts now of that technology and of mobile wallets to consumers with initiatives like ISIS and Google Wallet and those types of systems. So it's picking up, and I think with EMV, which is payment through chip cards as opposed to magstripe cards, coming to the U.S. over the next couple of years as well, that will provide a great catalyst for not only merchants to update their infrastructure and acceptance equipment, but also a change in payment behavior on the consumer side. So those two things will probably go hand in hand to a large extent, and come to the payment world we both live in every day.
What do you see kind of as the areas of friction that why it just doesn't happen immediately?
So a rollout of that requires a lot of changes, right? So you need changes on the consumer side, consumer behavior, consumer value, putting phones in the hands of consumers that are capable of conducting those transactions, and that's happening today. Many handsets support NFC now. Most handsets support barcode-based mechanisms. So that's with the smartphone revolution, that's pretty well taken care of. On the acceptance side, we've been working on it for years. I mean, merchants now realize they need to start hardware enabling their equipment. So a lot of the systems, if not all of what we're shipping today, is hardware ready to accept not only the EMV type payment that we were just talking about, but also ready to accept NFC, mobile wallet-based payments, and other technologies as well, like audio-based technology or barcode-based technologies. So for us, it's all about helping our customers be enabled with this technology.
And I guess it does reduce the friction as far as people making payments, right? Is that the whole idea? Is just make it easier to get that in and out?
Yeah, it's definitely about making it easier to pay, faster to pay, but it's more than that, right? I mean, payment in and of itself, swiping your MagStripe card today is relatively frictionless, right? I mean, you just swipe your card, we do it every day, it doesn't take that much time, but there are challenges with security in MagStripes today, which is why EMV is coming to the US, and it doesn't lend itself all that well to global interoperability and those kinds of things. But when you start thinking about mobile wallets, NFC, mobile payments, the consumer value is more in what else comes with it. How do you tie a loyalty card to your payment card so you don't have to have a separate loyalty card? What do you do with discounts, offers, coupons, all those exciting things that consumers want today? Making that lower friction, that entire process, that's what mobile wallets are all about, tying that whole experience together online and offline.
And, are you seeing, like with the early adopters, are there any concerns about the security? Like, okay, great, my phone's stolen, and, now someone can access my credit card, right?
Right. I think consumers may well be concerned about that. Luckily, it's not found, and in reality, a card stored on a mobile phone in what we call a secure element, in the case of an NFC wallet, is orders of magnitude more secure than a MagStripe card in your wallet ever was, right? Because it's stored in secure memory and it can't be duplicated and accessed by fraudulent applications. So that is one of the major values it provides to consumers. It is a more secure way of having your wallet stored on the secure element of your phone. So I think we should feel good about that instead of fear it.
Yeah, just need to make sure the consumers are educated about it, though, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's consumer education in all of these things, all of these types of technologies, emerging technologies, added value is one of the key factors of making something successful. So I absolutely agree.
Okay. Well, Erik, I appreciate your insight on this and look forward to continuing conversations about it. Great. Thanks.